Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a very simple workbench for less than $100. Okay, for the first step here I'm going to cut 4 2x4s that are 65 inches long, 4 2x4s that are 44 inches long, and 4 2x4s that are 41 inches long. Alright, next I'm going to take 2 of those 65 inches and 2 of those 44 inch 2x4s. I'm going to go ahead and screw those together, and here I'm going to use 2.5 inch screws to kind of give it a good bind. You could use pocket screws if you wanted to, but I kind of like the way the look of the screws look on the outside. And then in the middle here I'm going to put in 3 of those 41 inches, and I'm going to put those at 16.5 on center. Alright, next we're going to work on the top portion here. We're going to take 2 of those 65 inch ones and 2 of those 44 inch 2x4s and go ahead and screw those together just like we did the bottom ones. And if you notice, I actually placed this one on top of the bottom to make sure everything is square and lines up perfectly and that they're all the right sizes. And for these middle pieces that are 41 inches, on the bottom I did 16.5 on center. This one I'm going to do 21.5, and the reason I'm doing this is that way my miter saw will recess and be flat with the top finished surface. Now, your miter saw may have different measurements than mine, but if you're not even going to put a recessed miter saw, then you don't have to worry about that last part there. Alright, now we're going to cut 4 2x4s that are 28 7/8 long, and what this will be, these will actually be our connection between our bottom and our top portion of our workbench here. Now that I have it flipped over, I'm going to go ahead and put on these casters here. And I chose the 250-pound casters. I want a little bit heavier dutier ones. I had the brakes on them. And I'm going to use those 1.25 by 1/4 lag bolts to secure those there. And I chose these measurements here. That way when I'm done, I'll have exact measurements of 34 inches tall. It's 34 to 36 inches, a very common height for workbenches. Alright, next I'm going to attach the top portion here. I'm going to use some clamps to hold that up while I'm using 3-inch screws to give a good bind. I'm going to use 4 on the side here and 2 on the front to kind of give 6 3-inch screws to kind of really hold this together, give it a good stability here. And once I have that done, I'll be able to put the top portion of that 3/4 inch plywood on and be able to secure that and fasten that to the actual table here. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and put some pocket holes here for these screws. I'm basically going to put 3 for each board. That way it has a good secure connection to that 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to throw that on. I'm going to try to give a 2-inch overhang all the way around. That way whenever I use clamps and stuff like that, it gives a good connection. And after that I'm going to put those pocket screws, and I'm going to use 1.25 inch and go ahead and secure that plywood to the actual top of the table here. Now once you have all those screws in and attach the top part, you can go ahead and cut out the excess and have that 2 inches all the way around. And if you're done, you don't want to put a miter saw in, this could be your finished product. I'm going to go ahead and put some measurements in, be able to cut my miter saw hole in. That way I have it recessed and it'll be flush with the top. It makes it real easy to make cuts on longer boards. I really like this type of a setup for a miter saw. And again, all miter saws are going to have different measurements depending upon your size. So at this point, it's going to be a little bit of customizable how you'd want to do that. And it's completely up to you if you want to put one in or not. If you're interested in how I was putting my miters on, I'm using some 2x2s here. 2x2s really are, the way I have my bracing set up works great. A little bit cheaper than 2x4s, and it provides plenty of strength to be able to bolt my miter saw to the actual workbench here. And once I'm done with that and I get it recessed in, this is kind of what it'll look like. That way it has a nice flush finished look, and it's really easy to cut wood on. I'm going to go ahead and grab that 1/2 inch OSB 4x8 sheet. I'm going to measure the bottom, go ahead and cut that out. That way I'll have that bottom shelf pretty much. And once I have that in place, I'm just going to take those 3/4 inch screws and just kind of secure that to the bottom. You don't have to go too crazy with too many screws. After that, I'm going to show a little bit of the shelf that I built, some leftover lumber I had. At this point, it's going to be customizable how you want to do it. This is some scrap wood I had. I'm just going to go ahead and make some shelves from the leftover OSB that I had here. Some of the shelves kind of hold some of my drills, some of my saws, and it depends on how many shelves, what kind of tools you have, what kind of equipment you want to put in here. It becomes pretty much customizable at this point. But if you want to continue on watching, I have a few things what I did at the end. I have a few pictures of my complete finished product, how I customized it for myself to kind of give you some ideas and also kind of show you what you can do. And again, it depends on the tools you have and what equipment you have. It really depends upon how you want to customize it for yourself. Now we had a satisfaction of a job completed. Here again, it's just a few of the ideas that I did, different shelving I did for some of my screws, some of my nail guns and stuff like that. But I thank you for watching my video, and if you're interested, you can subscribe. I try to put some DIY and some how-to stuff that is more affordable and simple project that just makes it fun to do woodworking and not really go over your budget also.